And now, the show you've all been waiting for. It's Vox Bellator. Games, comics, movies, it's all discussed here, live and without filter. If you aren't listening, what are you doing with your life? And now, give it up for your host, Sumo and his co-host, the Smed Head. Let's get into it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Vox Bellator. I am your host Sumo, joined as always by my esteemed compatriot and co-host, the Smed Head. Smed, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great as always, Sumo. Doing great and so excited for tonight's topics, subjects, everything else. Man, this has been a hell of a week. And welcome in one all and everybody to Warhammer Wednesdays, the second one.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to WW2, ladies and gents. It's about to get exciting. So, before we start, a quick apology for the missed Marvel Monday this week. Unfortunately, our special guest, Big Papa Smed, was not able to join us, and I had come down with a terrible, terrible chest cold. My voice and lungs, they were not up to the task. So, I do apologize for that. I'm going to take the blame on that one, so y'all can yell at me.
Nah, don't take the blame. You sounded like shit. I talked to you on the phone.
This is true. I was not feeling good, and we aim to give the best we can here. We are purveyors of perfection here. We're almost Emperor's children, but without all the heresy and the gay. But but yes, tonight's topics, we're going to be talking some Space Marines, because I am... other than the times I play with one of Smed or Big Papa Smed's armies, I am exclusively a Space Marine player. That's the only army I currently have because I don't have a house to mortgage.
So true.
For anybody that's not familiar, if you're, more into us for the Marvel and the movie stuff and everything, Warhammer 40k is an extremely expensive hobby. It's a very fun hobby. But if you're going to get into it, if you're not sure if it's for you or not, start with Kill Team. It's very small. You're only going to have to spend like $100 to get started, and that's like getting the rules, the terrain kit, and
models. I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of everything. It's a great segue, which has worked for a lot of people that we play with nowadays.
Yes. And I will not ever... fail to plug Kill Team. I think it's fantastic. Actually, I've kind of been thinking about getting the rule book and getting the stuff and trying it out. I love little, squad-based skirmish stuff.
You should have asked. We have it.
See, I didn't even know. I should have expected, but I didn't.
We buy every box set ever, and usually multiples.
This is extremely true. I don't think there's been a box set that's come out I haven't seen them within like 2 days of release, if that late.
Shout out to Legion Games. Woo! Paul,
yes,
you're the best.
Paul, fantastic dude. He's got the hookup for you if you need it. If you live in central Alabama, if you're in the Birmingham area, make sure to holler at him.
Legion Comics are Superior Comics. He owns both, and they're both the only ones still left around here.
Very true. He has crushed the competition. The only thing left that even could compete with him is the GW store, and most people don't go there for certain reasons.
Management.
Pretty much. But let's hop right into it. I really want to do a breakdown of these enhanced chapter tactics now, because not only do you have the main effect, they've been updated and kind of gotten secondary effects with those chapter tactics as well.
Absolutely. Jump into it.
All right. First and foremost, originally with chapter tactics, it only affected infantry, bike infantry, and dreadnought models. Now it affects every unit in a Space Marine army except for servitors. And let's face facts, servitors, they're lobotomized people. They're like corpse and machine mixed together. They're terrifyingly awful. You don't want to be a servitor. It's usually reserved for prisoners, people who commit terrible crimes just short of heresy, which is the only unforgivable sin in 40k as far as the Imperium goes. So yes, so now it affects things like tanks and such, which is really cool because I didn't understand why it didn't affect them in the first place. Because it's still Space Marines operating them.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It's Space Marines operating them, but they're still the same machine that other, chapters have. So I guess they took into perspective that the chapters made the tanks their own way, to enhance their abilities.
Yes, I can absolutely get along with that because, like in the fluff, it talks about the White Scars upgrading the engines of their tanks, like Land Raiders being able to keep pace with bike squads.
Right.
Which is terrifying when you think about it. But yeah, so let's start off. The Crimson Fists are the first one on the list, and their enhanced chapter tactic is called No Matter the Odds. This one's really neat. If you play Crimson Fists, they're a really cool army. They are Sons of Dorn. That absolutely stoic, taciturn gene seed has manifested in them to just give them like a no fucks given mentality. Like, they could be down to the last 5 dudes in the chapter, and they're still gonna fight. It does not matter. They
hashtag Ren's World.
Yes. Oh my god, amazing.
The first
book. One. You're right. Yeah. Anybody not up to date on the fluff? Ren's World. First time it was orcs. Pretty much screwed the Crimson Fist for a little while. Brought them down to like maybe 50. Surviving Space Marines, and they rebuilt their chapter from that. Pretty much got to full chapter strength, and then the Noctis Eterna hit. The Eternal Night, the Great Rift, the Cicatrix Maledictum. Bad shit happened, and the world got invaded by demons and cut them back down. So
which is why now they really rely on all the new Primaris stuff.
Extremely so. They field a ton of Primaris, and they're probably going to be one of the first full Primaris chapters that is not a new chapter, that has not been created since the start of the Indominus Crusade led by Rabute Gilliman.
My Imperial Fist beg to differ.
It's very true. He runs Primaris Imperial Fist, and it's devastating to go up against. Let me tell you, Intercessors, just with the bolt rifles now, with the new rules that they implemented and made solid and standard across the Space Marines,
and ignoring cover.
It's nasty. It's hard to go up against. If you're playing an infantry heavy army, you will get crushed. I mean,
well, even bigger stuff, because I run 40 to 50 in every army. It's just the number of shots at all -1.
That's exactly right. It's, you kind of hit that midway point between, like, even against knights. Yeah, you're wounding on a 6, but with the rerolls and everything you can get, because, you've got yours set up a little bit like mine, where you keep the bubble going, so you get your rerolls for hits and you get your rerolls for wounds. You got your captain and lieutenant in there doing their thing. And then, that makes a difference, because to boost the invulnerable save for the Imperial Knights, it only goes up to 4 now. So
yes, which is a huge difference.
Oh my goodness, isn't it though? Isn't it? And it's when your normal invulnerable save is 5, and all of a sudden every hit you take, every wound that goes through is putting your armor at a 4+.
Oh, and not only that, like you said, they only go to a 4+. So now your Predator autocannons are demolishing knights. I mean, you can only make so many 4+s when you're putting out 2d3 shots per Predator, and like I said, you run that attachment, it's just devastating. And now that they get the chapter tactics, it's even more devastating.
Yes. But On the Crimson Fists, the chapter tactic name is No Matter the Odds. When resolving an attack made by a model with this tactic against a unit that contains at least 5 more models than that model's unit, add 1 to the hit roll. For the purposes of this tactic, a vehicle model with this tactic counts as 5 models. In addition, when resolving an attack made with a bolt weapon by a model with this tactic, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. So let's break this down. They've got the Imperial Fist thing, as far as when they roll a 6 on the dice.
It's an extra hit.
And it's not just bolt weapons. Or, yeah, it is bolt weapon, just bolt weapons.
It
but
is bolt
made
weapon.
with a bolt weapon. But you get an extra hit. So every roll of a 6 is 2 hits with a bolt weapon.
And they can still take the same stratagem of bolter drill, like the Imperial Fist. So
Yes.
every 6 is another shot.
Yep.
Or 1 command point.
Yep. And
You can stack up hits very quickly with just a 4-man heavy bolter dev squad.
Oh my goodness, yes. Absolutely. And this is a chapter tactic. This is a trait. This is universal. They get this no matter what. The big thing with this is, if you've got, and this is really going to this is going to make them play like Crimson Fists. You know, running let's say a 5-man intercessor squad with bolt rifles, just standard loadout. If you're firing at a 10-man orc mob, all of a sudden you're hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
If you've got a captain with you, you're re-rolling all your misses at that point.
Which you should always have a captain,
Yes.
or if not, the chapter master Pedro Cantor.
Yes, because Pedro's weapon is actually really awesome. Dorn's arrow is a badass storm bolter, is
isn't
what
it
it
like
is.
a rapid fire 4 or something?
I think it's like rapid fire 4, strength 5, AP -1, 2 damage.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yes.
'Cause, I mean, you sit still and you got 8 shots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with a heavy bolter with an extra damage.
Yep. It's absolutely disgusting.
It's fitting for a chapter master, though.
It really is. And, you know, that's really all he's got. It's the Dorn's arrow is incorporated into his wrist, and then he's got a power fist. So, but if you get into the situation where you're having to use his power fist, you're playing the Crimson Fist wrong. But this is also going to be really good for like small Stern Guard veteran units. Because their weapon, the special issue bolter, is, you know, standard strength. It's a 4, but it's AP -2, and I think it might be 2 damage, if I'm not mistaken. It may be 1. I may be wrong there, but I think it's 2. If it is 2, that's ridiculous. Even if it's 1, that's ridiculous. But it's a like 30-inch rapid fire 1 weapon. So at 30 inches, you know, you've got better AP than the bolt rifle the intercessors have. And if they get into hand-to-hand, you know, anything goes wrong and they wind up getting charged, they've still got 2 attacks base, 3 on the sergeant. And now with the trait that's coming for them, where if a unit is charges, or does a heroic intervention, they get an extra attack. You know, that's 3 all around, and then 4 for the sergeant. So you can definitely handle yourself pretty well now.
Oh, definitely. And as long as they don't alter the points again on the Primaris, like intercessors and such, that's going to make Marines just way better, which is what they deserve, because Chaos has been getting all the love in Ace.
Really has. And Space Marines right now, unless you're playing like Grey Knights, I've seen a few Grey Knights do really well competitively.
And they're hit and miss, though, because their numbers are so little.
That's exactly right.
They've been doing good because, you know, the main winning army right now is demons, which runs numbers, and of course they're great against demons and all the shots.
Yep.
But I mean, their maximum range weapon is 24 inches.
Yes, which is a drawback, but they're all equipped with power weapons too. So, every single one of them can have a power sword.
And every single one of them is a psyker.
Yes. It's a bit ridiculous.
Smite here, smite there, smite everywhere.
Yeah, with no detriment, with no negative to it. It doesn't go up each time you use it. So, and now this one, I was talking with Smed a little bit earlier about this, and I had just spoken with him on Sunday and said, it would probably be worth taking Black Templar armies if they had a little bit more on the chapter tactics.
No.
Or, a little bit more as far as stratagems go. If they, just got a little bit of love, because the Crusader squads can be 20-man squads. 10 regular Space Marines, 10 scouts, essentially. They're called initiates, but they're scouts.
They're scouts.
All equipped with bolters, and they're now all on the same ballistic skill, 3+. That's a lot of DACA. That's a 20-man bolter squad at 24 inches. You're getting 2 shots apiece.
Well, now, like you said, that you're bringing it up with their new tactic, they all have a 5+ feel no pain that works against mortal wounds. I mean, they're all pretty much disgustingly resilient.
That's exactly right.
So you can make your save and take out scouts, and they still get a 5+ resilient against all these psyker armies that you see nowadays with demon princes and Ironmen and demons everywhere.
That's exactly right.
It makes them very, very playable, and yeah, I see that in my near future.
Yeah, I think a Black Templar's army is probably coming up for me as well. That'll be a lot of fun. If for nothing else other than fluffiness, I think it'll be a lot of fun. But the enhanced chapter tactic for them, so this is the core part of it. When a charge roll is made for a unit with this tactic, you can reroll any or all of the dice. Now, originally it said when a charge roll is made for a unit with this tactic, you can re-roll the charge dice. It was not an any or. It was not a one or both of them. It was both of them. Even if you were only an inch short, you still had to re-roll both of them. Now, if you need 8 inches...
and you roll a 6 and a 1...
you just re-roll the 1, and you've pretty much got it. You're almost guaranteed to get it at that point.
Exactly.
In addition, you've got the, if something in the army would lose a wound from a mortal wound attack, on a 5+, it's ignored. And again, this applies to everything. So now if somebody decides they want to try to freaking smite spam your Land Raider Crusader to try to kill it real quick to get it to meaty guys inside.
That's a big no.
Yeah, you've got a 1 in 3 chance of completely ignoring that.
And going against armies that do that, like with all the plague bearers and all that stuff and Nurgle armies, you would be surprised how much that helps. Oh,
absolutely. And their stratagem as well is straight up, you spend a command point, and on a 4-up, you shut down their psychic power that they're trying to target you with. It's like, so you can shut down 1 smite, and then, out of 6 mortal wounds, you only fail 4. So it may not, or, just going on pure numbers here. The way it plays
just
out,
average. I mean, you could fail 5, but you could fail 2.
Exactly, and that changes it up a lot, and
that's humongous.
It will make your commanders and your tough stuff so much more survivable playing Black Templars, which is what a lot of people do. Once they get in range, they're smiting your characters because they can target those.
Which is a big thing right now. Like I said, I mean, the last tournament we played in, there was 5 demon armies / chaos armies, or 6. All running the similar base of the same thing with, Nurgle toughness shield walls and Zinch detachments of HQs.
Yep.
Demon princes, Ironmen, just sorcerers, everything you can think of. Yep. Anybody who's listening who plays, locally or in any kind of tournaments has probably seen a list exactly the same or very similar, because they were all just a hair different, but all pretty much the same.
Yeah. definitely had the same core stuff. The only thing that was different was a couple little, like auxiliary things that, somebody liked hand-to-hand a little more, they'd have something for hand-to-hand. Somebody liked shooting a little more, they'd take a bunch of horrors, stuff like that.
Right, yeah. You'd see bloodletter bombs or pink horror bombs, yeah. It varied there, but that was about it.
Yeah, everything else pretty much the same, which I don't blame anybody. If they see what's winning tournaments and that's what they go with, hey,
I mean, exactly.
More power to you, dude.
If it's working, man, work it.
My view is I want to find something that can beat that.
Well, like we're discussing now with all the new Marine drops, I believe it's coming.
I would say so, sir. I would say so. Next up, my buddy Smed's army, the Imperial Fists. They've got the Enhanced Chapter tactic Siege Masters. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model with this tactic, the target does not receive the benefit of cover to its saving throw, and if that attack was made with a bolt weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit.
And then spin that command point and bolter drill it.
Do it. Just freaking
so
do it.
every roll of a 6 is another shot.
And it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, it really is.
Ignoring cover, like I said, running Primaris at rapid fire 30 inches. And like you're saying, run captains, spin the command points, take the chapter master. So you're re-rolling everything. I mean, it just the stacks you can get it's really insane. Especially, like I said, ignoring cover and always being at -1 or more.
Oh, yeah.
And now with all that applying to, like, the Predators I run.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, that's just humongous.
I think we'll see your Imperial Fist at some tournaments now. We'll see him come out a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm thinking on the 30th.
You got to win that one for me, man. You got to win it. If not, just place in the top 5, dude. Show them up. Surprise the hell out of them.
Hell, me and you both placed in the top 5. Not the last one, but the one before that.
That's right. And we'll get to my army's new special stuff here in a few minutes. But now we've got the Ultra Smurfs, and of course, Codex Discipline. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of models with this tactic, which is nice. Like that
nowadays with the way leadership works, that will come in handy.
Yep. So it enhances their leadership, which even if they fail, you get to re-roll because of "and they shall know no fear." So you've got a better chance of not losing anybody in case you get shot up really bad. And then, of course, they get to fall back. And when they do, though, if you shoot, you have to subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's not that bad. Especially if you're stacking them and you're near a captain, it helps a lot. It's still, being able to fall back and shoot the crap out of something. Like, and this is, it talks about this in Warhammer Community, and this is what I thought about too, was like, if you have like a Land Raider Redeemer that gets locked up in hand-to-hand with something that's really good against tanks up close, you can fall him back and pop him with 2 freaking Flamestorm cannon shots.
Or, 40 Hurricane Bolter shots.
Yeah, with the Crusader. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's freaking disgusting.
That's a difference maker. I mean, Eldar have stratagems like that for, their normal, like, ground units and stuff, but being able to do that with Marines now, with tanks and everything like that, yeah, that's ginormous.
It is. It really is. And now we get on to the Sons of Chagoris, the Children of the Khan, the White Scars. Their chapter tactic is Lightning Assault. So this was the same as before. Units with this tactic can charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back. That's really awesome. Especially the falling back bit. It's like, okay, you've been charged. Take a couple of losses from a bike squad. No big deal. maybe you lose a bike or an attack bike, something like that. But then you fall back. And then you charge. And all of a sudden, you've got the momentum.
It's not just that. It's just like, all right, they charge you. You have a bike squad, what should be within 6 of a captain on a bike. So you're going to overwatch and reroll your ones with all those shots. I mean, it's 4 shots a bike. You're still going to do some damage. They're going to come in. Yeah, they're going to probably take out your attack bike or, and maybe an extra wound or another bike, which is fine. You still have 7 bikes. And like you're saying, now you can fall back, blast them to death, and then charge back in.
Yep.
And then you spend that command point and give them an extra attack.
Yep.
I mean, God, like I said, Marines, oh, man, all this new stuff is just...
It's ridiculous. I love it. But this is the add-on to it, and this is going to tickle you pink, man. Biker models with this tactic do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons, or for advancing and firing assault weapons.
You're about to see a lot of multi-melta bikes.
I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be fantastic. And I expect you'll see some like attack bike squads now too, just, doing circles and just moving quick, laying down heavy bolter fire. And, what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to charge them? Yeah, they're just going to fall back the next turn and then shoot the shit out of you. But, which, actually, thinking about it, they may not be able to fall back and shoot because they don't have the fly rule.
That's very true. But
assault squads?
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially if you run them with the 3 plasma or the flamers.
No, 3 plasma's the way to go.
I think so.
Everything's too much elite heavy now. I mean, even the demon armies, the plasma, you're still going to get the double shots. It's worth the points when you look at it.
Right. And it's pretty nasty. I definitely expect to see some serious bike scar or white scar bike armies. Bike scars. Bike scars.
And that new Corsaro Khan.
Oh, yes.
Model.
The Rubicon Primaris Corsaro Khan. I love it. And I really, really hope they get him back on his bike and get some rules for that.
Yes,
please, guys.
The Moondrake. They got to put him back on there. I mean, you can't have one model without the other when it comes to Corsaro.
Got to.
You have to.
Got to do it. So now we move on to the chapter I play currently that I very much enjoy, the Raven Guard.
Oh, what a bunch of assholes that you can't see.
So their chapter tactic is called Shadow Masters. So when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against a unit with this tactic by a model that is more than 12 inches away, that unit is treated as having the benefit of cover to its saving throw. And if that unit is not a vehicle and is entirely on or within a terrain feature, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So, essentially, if you are in cover, if I'm outside of 12 inches, you're hitting me on a 4 with Marines. Also, even if I'm not in cover, I have a cover save.
And what makes it even better is that it works for tanks now.
Yep.
Which is, like I said, that's the biggest change is that, your tactics work on all your vehicles and everything now. That's just humongous.
Right.
With the firepower they can put out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all the different vehicles and even some of the newer ones that we'll discuss later. But, I mean, golly. Yeah. Unless you're playing Iron Warriors or Imperial Fist, which nobody does.
Yeah.
Besides me, yeah. Papa Smed. Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do about it. I mean, you're going against Imperial Guard, they're going to be hitting you on 5s and 6s.
Yep. And that's it does nerf them just a smidge. They don't always have the -1 to hit them if they're 12 inches over. But what it does do is gives them a permanent cover save.
Exactly,
So
which makes them a shooty and or an assault army now.
that's exactly right. And honestly, this makes taking Raven Guard flyers very viable.
Oh, 100%. And not only just flyers, I mean, assault squads, bike squads, I
Hmm.
mean, anything of the sort. I mean, heck, even land speeder squadrons.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
mean, with firepower now, and like I said, always having that benefit of cover. Mm.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So
It
everything's
is.
going to have a 2+ just in the open.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everything's going to have a 2 plus.
exactly. Yeah, everything's going to have 2+ in the open. Like I said, unless you're facing two of, 30 something armies.
Right. Exactly. So it's nice. It's nice. It has some very nice benefits. Now we come to my personal favorite chapter, the ones I've loved since I was a youngin' playing this game because they're just so cool. The Salamanders.
Ah,
Yes, forged in battle.
for Vulcan.
When a unit with this tactic fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with, you can re-roll a single hit roll and you can re-roll a single wound roll. So that's pretty much the same now
Yes.
as it was with the old codex. But now, here's the add-on. When resolving an attack made with a weapon that has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 against the unit with this tactic, that weapon is treated as having an armor penetration characteristic of 0.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That that can be stacked really quick.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So I may have to play with some salamander stuff again, off
Hey,
and on and check it out.
maybe a little mix. Maybe take like a spearhead detachment or something of Raven Guard, and
Hmm.
another detachment of salamanders. Just being able to mix and match with those tactics can really benefit Marines like it does Chaos nowadays.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and that's it's really nice. Like you were saying, the mixed detachments. Like take your Raven Guard for the up close hurdy stuff. Take your salamanders for your mid to long range firepower. Because anything coming in at you, if it's at -1, you're pretty much just taking away that freaking armor penetration characteristic.
Well, not just that. It's just like if I were you, like you were saying, take the fast hand to hand, bikes and assault marines, maybe even Vanguard or something, Raven Guard detachment, and then take all salamanders in drop pods.
Mm, very true.
So
Very true.
you're right on them. You're going to get your rerolls. You're going to be within 12. So if you have meltas or multi meltas or anything like that, you're going to be doing double dice and picking the highest.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's going to stack well, and they're going to have to choose one or the other because, like I said, your Raven Guard's always going to be in cover, even if they're in the open,
Yep.
and they're going to have salamanders in their face at the beginning of turn 2,
Yes.
and they're going to have to choose.
Yes.
And I think that is a great combo to do.
I think it is too, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to break out the old drop pods again.
Yeah,
And-
I think I am too. Now that the old Space Wolves can take all the new stuff now.
Right. Oh gosh, this is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. And then we've got, last but definitely not least, the Iron Hands. Those cybernetically enhanced sons of Iron Hands. So it's kind of a joke, guys. If anybody is not familiar with it, the Primarch of the Iron Hands is named Ferrus Manus, which translates from the Latin as Iron Hands. So the Iron Hands, who are the sons of Iron Hands, have iron hands and smack people with them. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and
Yeah,
GW
they
don't
smack
ever
people
change.
with their iron hands.
Yes. And they're all about, like, augmetic replacement and stuff like that. The flesh is weak. So they'll cut off a perfectly good arm to, put a bionic one on. Which, I can't necessarily argue with the results because these dudes are tough and it shows in their rules.
Oh yeah, and they're so advanced. I mean, and I honestly can say I haven't seen their new tactic, but I mean I knew before they had the 6+ ignore. So please tell me.
Yeah, they have a really good chapter tactic, and I expect to see some Iron Hands and Sons of Medusa armies doing really well. So here it is. The flesh is weak. When a model with this tactic would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. So they still got their feel no pain on a 6 up.
Right.
When resolving an Overwatch attack made by a model with this tactic, a hit roll of 5 or 6 scores a hit.
Ooh, 5 or 6.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So you've essentially taken your chances of hitting an Overwatch from a 1 in 6 to a 1 in 3.
Yeah, that's humongous.
Yes. In addition, models with this tactic that have a damage table, so bracketing, like the Redemptor and Contemptor Dreadnoughts and Land Raiders, all that, are considered to have double the number of wounds remaining for the purposes of determining what row to use on that damage table.
So you're never going to have more than the second row. Or less than the second row.
That's
Sorry.
right. Unless it goes down to, like,
One.
Yeah, you're
Because
good.
most of them are 1 to 3 on the bottom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So as long as you have 2 wounds left, you're on row 2, which is a 4 up instead of a 3 up. But it's a lot better than the 5 up that you would normally be on.
That's insane. Like I said, that's one I haven't seen. That is awesome, to be honest with you. I'm with you. I expect to see some Iron Hands armies.
Oh, sure. And I would actually expect to see some Redemptor Dreads with that out there, because Redemptor Dreads can put out the shots if they survive long enough. That's the problem. They usually get picked off really quick, but they can definitely do damage once they start closing in and wreaking havoc. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I would kind of like to run an Iron Hands force just for fun to check out how the rules go. But so that's it as far as the chapter tactics go. The enhanced chapter tactics, what they've released for us so far.
Right.
And now we've got to create your own chapter shit. Which...
Well, before we get into that...
Go ahead, my friend.
Let me jump into some of the new units.
Yes, let's do that. Let's have a discussion.
That have been leaked and released. Starting with the Incursor Squad.
Take me home, Country Road.
Oh, man. Well, any of these units that are equipped with the Oculus Bolt carbines deny the enemy cover, which is pretty much taking an Imperial Fist squad that can come in, and they are in Phobos armor, so they can drop in 9 inches away. They also have a multi-spectrum arrays that prevent, negative shooting modifiers from affecting them. So against, Allotoic Eldar, anything like that, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if you're going against, scouts or stealth team, type units, these are the guys to take. And not only that, they have a hand-to-hand unit that is the other option for them. They take combatant blades. And
like a hero, right?
And it's the same rule. Every unmodified hit of a 6 is an additional hit, which is huge in hand to hand. And you spend that stratagem that just came out, you have an additional attack.
Yes.
You just tripled your numbers of chances of getting a 6. Man, that's humongous.
Right. And like
for any Imperial army.
oh my gosh, yes. And like they've got even more. This is a ridiculous unit. Just looking at what they can do. They carry smoke grenades as well. Just like the infiltrators. And then they have a haywire mine that doesn't have to be set up, before battle or anything like that.
Yes. Oh yeah. The D3 plus 1 mortal wounds.
Yeah, for a vehicle, and then D3 for an infantry squad. I mean, you could if you just take a couple of 5-man units, 2 or 3 of them, you can lay down these haywire mines and just if you have an objective,
you can pretty much trap something.
That's exactly right.
That's really what you do, and not only that, you can't not only trap something. You take a couple of the shooty ones and then take a decent size hand-to-hand one, and from one command point, you can take out whatever you want that turn. For very cheap. I mean, you're looking at 15 of them, and for the points they are now, I mean, they're a little expensive, but you're still looking at under 300 points. You're looking at like 270.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
They're a bit ridiculous.
Yes. And, definitely. And like I said, man, probably going to have to get a squad of those for sure. Now, the next thing I want to bring up is something I will have to get, probably 6 of, is the Impulsor.
Yeah, the Flying Rhino.
The Flying Rhino, which has the Assault Vehicle rule, which states, after this model moves in your movement phase, if this model did not advance, any units embarked aboard it can disembark. Units that do cannot charge this turn, but they can move and advance. So, and it only carries 6 Primaris Marines, which means 12 normal. But if you're looking at intercessors, you can have 6 intercessors or 5, and have a captain or a lieutenant in there, whatever you feel like. Like, I would probably have 5 and a lieutenant, to be honest with you, in the Imperial Fist. You can move it up 10 or 12 or however fast it moves. You get out 3, you move your 6. You're going to be within 24 with your auto bolt rifles. And you can advance because they're assault 2. And put out just a crazy number of shots. Do bolter drill, spin that command point, have your lieutenant re-roll in 1s. And with the chapter tactic of every 6 to hit is an additional hit, you're putting out so many shots. I'm just very interested to see how many points this will be. Like I said, and there's also the option of giving it a 4+ invulnerable save.
Yes. So,
and if you want firepower, you can take the Bellator missile array, which gives you frag, crack, and Icarus missiles. So you're good for infantry, big stuff, or flyers.
Yep. And if you...
and if that doesn't suit your, kudos to you. But you can take the orbital comms array, which allows you to call an orbital bombardment whenever you want.
Right.
So you have 4 of these out there. You got 4 orbital bombardments whenever you need them.
That's exactly. It's a little ridiculous. So the way it works out, and this is the wording, it says in your shooting phase, 1 model from your army with an orbital comms array that has not been used this battle can use it to call in an orbital barrage. So it pretty much works out the same way as the orbital barrage that your captain can call in for the 3 command points to stratagem.
But it doesn't cost the command point.
It doesn't cost the command point, and all you have to do is not shoot and not move. That's it. For, for a few turns, you have your first one, doesn't move or shoot, call in the orbital array or the bombardment.
Right, I said, move the other ones up.
Yep.
Next turn, move the other ones up, keep one still, do it again.
Yep.
The next turn, move the other ones up, keep still, do it again. And like I said, being able to carry Primaris people, Marines, I think the auto bolt rifle is going to be coming back big time with that assault too.
I think, especially with Imperial Fist or Crimson Fist. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Coming out of 3, moving and being able to advance and still just. I mean, you're going to be within 24, even if you don't advance.
Oh yeah, and just looking at the equipment on this thing, this is not a Rhino. We joke about it being the flying Rhino just because of the way it kind of looks. This sucker looks like it's got a pair of twin-linked heavy bolters, a heavy stubber you can take.
It looks like a Predator with, turbines on the side, and
yeah, and anti-grav skids.
Yeah. Anti-grav, of course, the repulsor system, and a targeting system on top.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great looking model. I'm not gonna lie.
It really does. And if you're just wanting a dedicated anti-air platform that is Primaris all the way, you can just keep the freaking Iron Hail Sky Talon array, and it looks like it's got a pair of the Iron Hail heavy stubbers. So you can just, put some hurt on some light aircraft, man. Just do your thing. It's really nice. This is going to be a fun vehicle, and it really is. It's right up the Crimson Fist alley. I can see them deploying these with the 5-man stuff.
Yeah, having many of these.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I plan on trying out 3 or 4. I think it'll be great.
Oh, for sure. And as a dedicated
especially the movement you need for board control in tournaments and stuff, it's going to come in huge handy. But on to the next one, the Invictor Tactical Warsuit. Oh, it is so awesome.
It's so ridiculous.
I mean, it's a little bit of ripoff of the Dreadnought, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Right. It looks like they just took the Redemptor, stripped it down, took out the sarcophagus, and put in a command seat.
Pretty much.
For a Primaris Marine to operate it.
But the Incendium Cannon, which is the 12-inch heavy 2d6, strength 5 -1, 1 damage, flamer, but it has a 6-shot autocannon.
Yeah.
Not only that, it has 2 heavy bolters strapped to its waist, and its special ability, heavy sidearm. While this model is within 1 inch of enemy units, its heavy bolter has the type characteristic of Pistol 3, meaning you have 6 shots in hand-to-hand with heavy bolters.
Oh, hold up. Just looking at the picture, looking at the barrel mounted right beside the cockpit of it, it looks like that is the twin Iron Hail autocannon. Just because it looks like what's on his left arm mounted there, that looks like
yes, you're correct. That looks like the heavy bolter.
But still, 3 strength 5 AP -1 shots in hand-to-hand during the shooting phase.
Yeah, I'll take that all day, especially if you're running Crimson Fist or Imperial Fist.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's really cool. It's pretty much going to be crap as far as it looks like it's not going to be that great when it comes to hand-to-hand attacks. It'll probably still have 3 or 4 attacks at strength 6, I'm assuming, but it won't have any AP or anything like that. It's just going to be straight damage.
Well, see, what I'm reading is that the ones that are strapped to its waist that look like stubbers can be replaced with heavy bolters.
If that's true, then that would be 9.
Because the right arm is the double autocannon. It's clearly a double autocannon. It's huge.
Okay.
2 big barrels.
Okay.
I think those are going to be 2 heavy bolters on its waist, and that's what that I've been reading. I do agree that the left arm does look like a heavy bolter, but that could be the alternate flamer weapon.
They just have, it's just really weird the way it's designed, but I freaking love it. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm super stoked.
Oh man, it's gonna be great, man. And to bring us to our next one, the new Eliminator squads. Eliminators can now target characters with all three of their, bolt sniper rifles, ammo types, and they all fire strength 5 now. But instead of the snipers, they can be equipped with lead fusils,
Yes.
which are strength 8 -3 flat damage at 36 inches.
Yes. So
I mean, you talking about just popping tanks or heavies or even heavy squads. These guys are going to put it out. I mean, you're going to start seeing squads of 5 and 6 instead of just 3 now.
yes, and I'm so glad that the Eliminators have gotten that bump up. All their weapons now are strength 5. So all the ammo.
Well, it's not only that, but the new rule that they come with, the
Yes.
covering fire
Yes.
rule. The first time this unit's Eliminator Sergeant fires Overwatch with its Instigator Bolt Carbine in your opponent's turn, this unit, after it has resolved its Overwatch, may move as if it were the movement phase.
Yes.
It cannot advance. So somebody deep strikes down on your squad of 6. They shoot you. You might have 4 or 5 left. They try to charge you. They're right out of 9, so they need a 9 to get in. You Overwatch, and then you move back 5 to 6 inches, so they're automatically out. Yeah, that's just. God, man. Like I said, I have 6 of them. I plan on running 5 or 6. Like I said, I'll definitely try them out. That's just, man, that's terrible. And I'm wondering if you could mix it, if you could do like a half and half on the weapons. Usually you can't, so I'm guessing no.
Yeah, the Primaris are pretty much all or nothing with that.
Right.
Which is a slight drawback, but they're pretty much the Space Marine version of Eldar Aspect Warriors.
But you know what? With the lad fusils, 6 strength 8 -3 damage guns.
Right.
I'll take that on Overwatch.
Right.
Have them near a captain. Sitting back in your blob. If you're running Marines, you should have a blob, no matter what.
Yes.
And doing that, and then being able to move out of charge range after they've already declared it, so they can't say, "Okay, well, I'm charging them." It's already been declared. You're just doing your Overwatch, and then you move away 6 inches,
right
out of their range, because the max they can get is 12, and if they have a special rule, it's 13, which is still out of their 6-inch range.
Yep.
And on the other note is the non-codex chapters like Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels will all be able to use the captains, librarians, lieutenants, and Phobos armor, the Eliminator squads now, the Incursor squads, the Infiltrator squads, the Suppressor squads, the new Invictor tactical war suits, the Impulsor, and of course the new Repulsor Executioner. Which is a big bonus to all those chapters.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah. And there's more.
There's more. So now we've got the Angels of Death combat doctrine. So this will be for every army now. The Ultramarines had something similar to this back in the day. I think it was it 5th or 6th edition, where they had these different tactics that they could change out when they needed to.
6th.
6th? Okay. And now all Space Marines will have them, but you start off with the Devastator Doctrine. So it goes long range, mid range, hand to hand kind of deal. And at the start of any of your turns after your first turn, so right at the beginning of your second turn, if they're already up in your grill, you can swap over to the Tactical Doctrine. But it does go in this order. You start off with the Devastator Doctrine, and it says the armor penetration characteristic of heavy and grenade weapons with this model is equipped with is improved by 1 whilst this combat doctrine is active. So, every heavy weapon you have, if you've got the Devastator Doctrine on, if you've got a heavy bolter, it's now AP minus 2. Yeah. So, grenades as well, like if you've got auxiliary grenade launchers for your intercessors, it's an AP minus 1 for frag, or an AP minus 2 for crack, if I'm not mistaken. So you're chunking those bad boys 30 inches. You can actually do some serious damage now. And this is going to be really good against stuff like orcs, which don't have the best armor already. A frag with minus 1 AP is really nice, because that's going to put them at a 6, I believe. A 6 to save them. Which is going to be really, really devastating.
Yeah, even with all those orc stacks that you can get now, which most of them are for shooting, but you can, make your orcs savable now, and that's going to take all that away.
Right. And now, then you swap over to Tactical Doctrine when they start getting close. They start getting into rapid fire weapon range and assault weapon range. It now has the AP minus 1 bonus. So all of a sudden, your dogs are barking. 1 second. Sorry, somebody at the door. All right. Moving on. We've got the Tactical Doctrine. So, like, your Stormbolters now become AP minus 1.
You're welcome, Grey Knights.
Your Bolt Rifles are AP minus 2. I mean, it's it's a little disgusting.
You're welcome, Imperial Fist.
Yes. Yeah. So this is...
Yeah. So. They've really, like I said, but the Marines deserve it. They're supposed to be the best of the best. And like I said, in 8, they've been playable, but they haven't been, like, in tournaments and stuff, like, very super competitive. It's really hard to have a list that's, really competitive, which we've tried and succeeded minorly, you know what I mean? Coming in top, 3 to 5, with our Marine armors that we run. But still, you should be able to build a very competitive list that is good for everything now, especially with all the tactics going toward your tanks and everything else. I mean, that's the biggest thing to me.
Yes.
To be honest with you. Yeah. Predators are going to be so much more viable now.
Yes.
Even Land Raiders.
Tanks will be worth taking again. And I've had 2 Land Raider Redeemers that I've just had kind of sitting, waiting in the wings, all sad, But anyways.
Just waiting on my points, cuz.
But there was one more thing, and this is going to be really critical. All you guys who really enjoy playing up in your face assault-based armies, the Assault Doctrine. So this one can come into play on turn 3 at the earliest. But the AP characteristic of pistol and melee weapons this model is equipped with is improved by 1. So now you've got chain swords that are minus 1 AP for your assault marines and your assault bikers.
Not just chain swords. Think of axes.
Oh my God! Yes, plus 1 strength.
I mean, your fist just went to minus 4 now.
Yep.
I mean, just everything. I mean, that is huge in itself for Marines
really
all
is.
Around. I mean, your power swords are minus 4.
Mm-hmm. If this is played smart, you can absolutely wreck someone's day within 3 or 4 turns with Marine armies. with all the new stuff coming, all the variability, the new chapter tactics and everything that are coming in, I really expect to see Space Marines getting competitive in the next few months. For sure. For sure. It's going to be a blast. Man. And honestly, and swapping over here and looking at the create your own chapter, it looks like you can either go straight to, taking the chapter tactic of the chapter that you're descended from, which is Inheritors of the Primarch. So you just straight up, okay, this is my successor chapter, but they're exactly like Raven Guard, or this is my successor chapter, but they're exactly like Ultramarines. Then you've got, if you don't take that, you get to pick 2 other chapter tactics that are really, really neat.
Space lines.
Exactly. So you've got Master Artisans, which is when a unit with this tactic fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with, you get to reroll a single hit roll and you can reroll a single wound roll. So it's pretty much the Salamanders thing. But then you've got Stealthy, which is, you get to cover save as long as you're 12 inches away. Bolter Fusillades, when resolving an attack made with a bolt weapon by a model with this tactic, you reroll a hit of 1. You add
3. It's crazy. Yeah. Just Marines deserve every bit of this.
Yes.
And and as you know, I have pretty much one of every army besides Dark Eldar and Sisters of Battle.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I have, at least 4,000 points worth of any army, and usually a lot more than that on all of them. And just doing that for Marines it just made me so happy. Because when it comes to tournaments, it's really hard to run a competitive Marine army, and with these new tactics models and everything else, all these rules, it's going to make it very competitive, especially against all these new demon armies that are trying to take over. Those are going to be going away soon, I hate to tell you.
Yeah. And honestly, probably not a minute too soon. Personal opinion. Filthy, filthy demons and heretics. But, I'm excited to see how the meta is going to change now. I'm excited to see what people are going to be running. I definitely expect to see a good chunk of Iron Hands armies coming in. And I would not be surprised to see some Black Templars coming onto the field. I know I'm going to be running some Black Templars eventually.
Absolutely. I was thinking like a half and half Templars and Imperial Fist. Because they go hand in hand anyways.
Yes.
If you know the fluff. That's where Templars came from.
Yeah. That's where they live.
Yeah, like I said, that's pretty much what I was thinking.
I think that would be a very nice army. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
No, well, just like yours, I think the Raven Guard and the Salamander mix would be just devastating.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to doing that one up. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I think that about covers everything we need to do as far as Warhammer Wednesday this time around. I think that's
that's pretty much what's leaked out, anything that's been certain as of right now. Of course, there'll be more, before the next Warhammer Wednesday, WW3.
That's right.
But like I said, just as of now, it's going to completely change the way Marines run. Like I said, the biggest thing is the chapter tactics, and everything else not only got enhanced, but they also apply to your vehicles. Yeah. So you're going to start seeing a lot more Land Raiders and Predators and Vindicators.
Oh, yes.
It's going to change the game. Like I said, I think the demon armies are going to slowly phase out now.
I think so too. I think the reign of chaos has kind of dipped off now. I think it'll just be more balanced. I think people will be able to take on demon armies a little bit more effectively now.
Without Imperial Knight, having 2 or 3 of those anyways.
Right.
Which, as we mentioned, you can only get up to a 4+ invulnerable, which really hurt the 3-knight army.
Yes.
But yes, like I said, the Marines, I see an uprising. And not only that, there's been big rumors with all this new Marine stuff coming out that there are going to be Marine Primarchs and rules for the Primarchs coming out very, very soon.
Finally, I hope that's the case. It's about time.
I'm hearing, Khan, Korax, and Vulcan are the top 3 that I've been hearing a lot about.
Which I think those would make the most sense. Even
well, yeah, because
Khan is a little bit off because he disappeared into the webway.
Yeah, but you said the same thing for Korax. He just kind of took off.
Yeah, nevermore.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll be back.
Yes.
Khan, he'll be back. And Vulcan, well, he's just crazy, but he can't die. So he has to be back.
Yeah. Perpetually pissed off, yet happy. How does that work?
Exactly. But like I said, Marines are getting some love, and I'm very, very happy for that.
Which is nice because, a lot of people talk about, Primaris and all this other stuff you get with them. Oh, how are they not getting love? They're GW's favorite. It's like, well, there's a difference between having a bunch of models for them and them actually getting some love on the competitive circuit, which now that Warhammer is kind of going that route, they've really lacked. But so this makes me happy to see.
Absolutely, and they did help with the dropping points on the Primaris stuff.
Yeah, dropping
which was
points.
mainly the intercessors and aggressors, which really helped. I mean, the fact that you could take 6 aggressors for 220 points or so. Aggressors are bad, man.
Yes, they are nasty. They are so much fun.
Yeah, and intercessors are just great, especially like you were saying. They're good for any army now with the bolter rule, but doing Imperial Fist or Crimson Fist or even a Raven Guard, any kind of more of a shooty gunline army, they're going to be great.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And now with the new tactics, they're going to be twice as good.
Oh my goodness, yes. Once the Devastator Doctrine, Tactical Doctrine, Assault Doctrine, once that comes in, and then with the Assault Tactic, the new special trait they have, just like their Bolter trait, yeah. Everything's going to be really awesome for Space Marines come the next few months. I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to playing with them.
And it's all going to drop probably within the next month. Probably by the end of September, all the books will be out. If I had to guess.
Yes. Well, like the same day or the day after they announced what was coming, they were already up for pre-order. So they've done a really good job.
Exactly. And pre-order usually means about a month or so.
Yep.
So it's going to be a game changer. I'm telling you, we're going to see a lot more Marine armies, which usually it's just me and you.
Yeah. Honestly.
And considering that, like I said, ain't bragging or nothing, that I have literally almost every army at my disposal because I've been playing for 20 years.
Yes.
I just love Marines.
They're great, man.
Their books, their fluff, everything is just the best.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a hero complex or anything like that, because sometimes they're not even the good guys. A lot of times they're not the good guys.
Oh no! They're told what to do and they do it, and it's for the exactly wrong reason.
Yep.
Hence why chaos showed up.
Yes. They, when you give them room to doubt, you wind up with the Horus Heresy.
Exactly.
So, well, my brother, I think that's been a pretty good Warhammer Wednesday. I think that was definitely deserving of the WW2 title.
Woo! Pearl Harbor, monkey Japs.
But to everyone out there, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely, always.
We greatly appreciate your patronage here. Thank you so much. Take care, and as always,
roll Tide.